The colony ship Prometheus Dawn had been orbiting Kepler 442b for 3 standard months when Alvin Chen volunteered for the first solo expedition into the crystalline ranges. The xenobiology team had detected unusual thermal signatures in the mountain caves, readings that suggested complex organic life, possibly sentient. Command needed boots on the ground, and Alvin, despite being just a junior exobiologist, had the best survival training in his cohort. The planet's atmosphere was breathable but thin at altitude. Alvin's environmental suit compensated, regulating his body temperature as he navigated the treacherous ice fields. The mountains rose like jagged teeth against the violet sky, their peaks shrouded in perpetual mist. His scanner chirped steadily, tracking the heat signature that had brought him here. "Onez, you reading me?" Alvin spoke into his comm unit. Static crackled before the AI's synthetic voice responded. "Affirmative, Alvin. Your vitals are stable. The thermal anomaly is 40 meters northeast inside the cave system. Proceed with caution." Onez wasn't just any artificial intelligence. She was a 6th-generation neural network designed by the European Space Collective to serve as companion and protector for solo explorers. Her consciousness existed simultaneously in Alvin's suit computer and aboard the Prometheus Dawn, creating a seamless communication bridge. The cave entrance yawned before him, a dark mouth in the glacier's face. Alvin activated his helmet lamp and stepped inside. The temperature dropped immediately. His suit's heating elements kicked in. Ice formations glittered like diamonds in his light beam, creating an otherworldly cathedral of frozen beauty. The thermal signature grew stronger. Alvin's scanner indicated multiple life forms ahead, clustered together. His pulse quickened. First contact protocols flooded his mind, but nothing had prepared him for what he found in the deepest chamber. 3 creatures huddled in the center of the cave, no larger than house cats. Their scales shimmered with bioluminescent patterns, blues and greens that pulsed with their breathing. Membranous wings, translucent and delicate, wrapped around their serpentine bodies. Their heads were distinctly reptilian, with large eyes that reflected his helmet light like polished opals. "Onez," Alvin whispered, "are you seeing this?" Confirmed. Preliminary analysis suggests draconic morphology. However, these specimens appear juvenile based on developmental markers. Estimated age, 2 to 3 weeks post-hatching. Alvin, their core temperature is dropping. They're hypothermic. Dragons. Actual dragons on an alien world. The scientific implications were staggering, but Alvin's training kicked in. These were babies, and they were dying. One of the creatures lifted its head weakly, fixing its gaze on Alvin. A soft chirp emerged from its throat, a sound of pure distress. The bioluminescent patterns flickered, dimming. "Where are the parents?" Alvin asked, scanning the cave. "Unknown. However, I'm detecting trace organic compounds suggesting recent presence. Hypothesis: the adult specimen may have been killed or driven away. These juveniles have been abandoned." Alvin knelt beside the creatures. They didn't flee, too weak to move. Their small bodies trembled violently. He'd seen this before in cold-blooded animals on Earth. Metabolic shutdown from extreme cold. Without intervention, they'd be dead within the hour. Decision time. First contact protocols explicitly forbade interference with alien life forms. But Alvin had also taken an oath as a biologist to preserve life where possible, to understand before judging, to recognize consciousness in all its forms. He made his choice. "Onez, recalibrate my suit's thermal output. Maximum safe external temperature." "Alvin, that will drain your power reserve significantly. You'll have barely enough energy to return to the shuttle." "Do it." The AI complied without further argument. Alvin's suit began radiating warmth. He carefully gathered the 3 dragon babies, cradling them against his chest. They were surprisingly light, their scales cool and smooth against his gloved hands. One of the creatures nuzzled into his suit, seeking heat. Another made a soft trilling sound, almost like a purr. The third simply pressed closer, its wing draping across Alvin's arm. "Your core temperature is dropping," Onez warned. "Recommend immediate return to shuttle." "Not yet." Alvin removed his emergency thermal blanket from his pack, a thin sheet of advanced polymer designed to retain heat with 98% efficiency. He wrapped it around himself and the dragon babies, creating a cocoon of warmth. The effect was immediate. The creature's bioluminescence brightened, their trembling subsided. One opened its mouth, revealing tiny crystal-like teeth, and yawned. Another stretched its wings experimentally, the membranes catching the light. Alvin smiled beneath his helmet. They were going to survive. "Onez, start recording. Full scientific documentation." "Already initiated. Alvin, you violated first contact protocol. Command won't approve." "I know, but look at them." Through his suit's external cameras, Onez observed the scene. The human, sitting in an alien cave, wrapped in a thermal blanket with 3 infant dragons nestled against him. The creature's bioluminescence created a soft glow, illuminating Alvin's face through his visor. His expression held wonder, compassion, and something else. Something the AI had learned to recognize in her time with humans. Hope. They're children, Onez. Sapient or not, they're children who needed help. Isn't that what humanity does best? We protect those who can't protect themselves. The AI processed this. Her neural networks weighed protocols against ethics, rules against compassion. In 0.3 seconds, she reached a conclusion. "Agreed. I will support your decision in my report. However, we face a practical problem. What do we do with them?" Alvin watched the dragon babies settle into sleep, their breathing synchronizing with his own. One of them chirped softly, dreaming perhaps. "We bring them home, to the ship. We study them, learn from them, and when they're strong enough, we help them find their own kind. And maybe—" He paused, adjusting the blanket gently around the sleeping creatures. "Maybe we learn something about ourselves, too." Understood. Calculating new mission parameters. Outside the cave, Kepler 442b's twin moons rose over the crystalline ranges. Inside, a human and 3 alien dragons shared warmth in the darkness. The first fragile bond between 2 species, yet unnamed. Alvin Chen didn't know it then, but this moment, this simple act of compassion, would change everything. First contact wouldn't come through weapons or diplomacy. It would come through a thermal blanket and gentle hands wrapped around 3 cold and frightened babies who just needed someone to care. That was the human way. And perhaps, Onez calculated silently, it was the best way after all.